So this is the campaign of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement right now. And first of all, again, salute the leadership of the chairman in this. We have a POA that we wrote about this campaign, and the overview is several pages long because it quotes extensively different times over the last few years that the chairman has summing up the crisis of imperialism and the vulnerability of the white ruling class and the urgency of taking this opportunity to weaken them, fracture them, and go deeper in and win these reparations. So just want to salute the leadership of the chairman, as well as Deputy Chair Zene Yeshitela, who has also persistently been calling for and pushing for this money sector campaign to go forward in a powerful way. And Deputy Chair Zene Yeshitela, who is also over the work of the Africans 1 Billion Strong donor campaign that Kitty Riley is involved in playing a leading role in that, is going to be heavily involved in this committee as well. And this committee is accountable to Deputy Chair, especially as it relates to winning major donors to the work of the Black Power Blueprint. So we will be working really excitedly under the leadership of Deputy Chair in this process. I also want to salute APSC Chairwoman Penny Hess for all of her leadership in this process up to now and going forward. Chairwoman Penny is a member of this committee to build this campaign, and I'm very excited to go forward with that. And I also want to salute APSC ORAD Director Kitty Riley, who's also part of the committee and who is going to be providing us a lot of political training and leadership from the Africans 1 Billion Strong Donor Campaign on how to do the ask, as they call it. There's science, there's protocols. Like, it's not just some random thing. There's actually a whole process that this organization has honed to perfection on how to carry this type of work out. So we are excited about that. So I'll speed through this pretty quick, but we already talked about this. Crisis abounds. Chairman Amalia Yeshitela has identified this is an actual picture of Wall Street investors losing their lunch, if you will. And this is a picture from Time Magazine. This is actually from the article. This cartoon here is from the article that the chairman has talked about before. The party's over, the fall of the American ruling class. So look at them; they're not doing too well. So right now, COVID-19 is really exposing the reality of parasitic capitalism, the dialectical nature of white wealth and African impoverishment. Trillions and trillions of dollars are going to Wall Street. People like this cackling, demonic-looking figure here. This is Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon. Pretty sure he's like the richest person on the planet. And he is really doing well from the COVID-19 pandemic that is wreaking havoc on the African community. He's making a lot of money off of this. Meanwhile, African workers in the Amazon warehouses are facing horrible conditions. So trillions for Wall Street, genocide for Africans. This is a period for us to carry out this campaign in a really intense way. Our work is reparations. We've discussed that quite a bit. That's our work, always has been reparations to African people. But now the call is to take reparations to haunt the bourgeoisie and to make this part of the struggle for socialism. This is the basis for a genuine struggle for white people to be involved in, to fight for socialism. As Chairwoman Penny Hess said, this is not about white socialism, which, as she said, is a scary thing, and there's plenty of history to prove that. And as the chairman has pointed out, you know, there can't be socialism without reparations to African people. The road to socialism is painted black. So capitalism was built on the oppression of African people. Socialism will be built on the liberation of African people and the destruction of the pedestal upon which capitalism rests. And this is not an Occupy Wall Street Bernie Sanders remix, because you had, I mean, I think a lot of people here remember Occupy Wall Street. That was the last time there were millions of white people out in the streets, you know, expressing their discontent with Wall Street. But to what end? And we remember, I mean, the chairman and the party raised a lot of criticisms of that movement, that suddenly, as white people, we were able to declare we are the 99% and we want our student loan money back and we want $15 an hour minimum wage and all these things that later coalesced into the Bernie Sanders campaign. And yet we weren't the 99% when we were lynching Africans, when we were terrorizing the indigenous people, when we were doing everything we could to step up onto the backs of African people to gain our position on the pedestal of slavery and genocide. So as the chairman has said, it's not enough to just be against quote unquote capitalism. Like Chairwoman Penny said, like, it's not about making the banks more just. It's not about making capitalism better or making it less corrupt. It's defining that capitalism is at its core parasitic. So we're against capitalism because we're against parasitic capitalism, capitalism built on the enslavement and colonization of African people, which is why this campaign, this is not a protest movement. This is not something we're doing to get our picture taken looking cool at a protest or something like that. This is tied to an anti-colonial strategy to overturn capitalism and build the African socialist economy. And the reparations is not reparations in the abstract. We want to win these, we want to demand these corporate CEOs and other money sector people to pay reparations to the Black Power blueprint, to Black Star Industries, to the economic program of the African Revolution. That's what reparations looks like in the real world. This is our way to fight back against our own ruling class. Anything that we might be upset about that's happening in the world right now, whether it's the destruction of the planet Earth, whether it's the degradation of women, whether it's the exploitation of workers, whether it's the oppression of LGBTQ people, anything we are upset about, this is the weapon that will attack all of those contradictions, because all of it is concentrated in a social system built on the oppression of African people. And reparations and demanding, this is how we separate ourselves from the white ruling class, from white power, and break our complicity and our unity and fight back. This is our fight back. This is our future. This is our struggle and our revolution as well.